I'm making tortillas, 2 cups, and I know I need a bigger bowl, but I don't want to go get it, so I'm gonna do that there. Okay, I have 2/3 of flour, and I feel like it's not enough, but we'll see. I'm gonna mix it. This first, and then I'll see. Essentially what the flour does, it helps it get a little bit more soft and stretchy. And I used to make tortillas for this restaurant when I was like young. My grandma showed me how to make tortillas when I was like 6 years old. So 1 cup of water. I'm just gonna add until I feel like the consistency of the dough is like Play-Doh. You want it to be like Play-Doh. You don't want it to be like slime. You want it Play-Doh-y. Finished whatever water I had first, so I'm gonna add just a little more. And to cook them too, you want to keep the heat about a medium low or medium high heat. Just depends on your stove. Okay, so just like that. Well, you want to keep the heat almost like when you're cooking pancakes. If it gets too high, they'll burn and they won't really cook through. If it gets too low, then it takes forever to cook and they just dry out. And so the more water you add, the more moisture you're putting in the dough. If it has less moisture, tortillas are more prone to like cracking and not coming out good. Okay, I think we're getting to that consistency I want. A little bit of water at a time. Yeah, cracker? Okay, so see how it's kind of like really mushy? You want it still to be that Play-Doh consistency. You don't want it to be super mushy. But I calculated it, so it's not calculated, but you know what I mean. I eyeballed it, so I know that it's not going to be like mushy. Okay, so my masa is ready, and now what I would do is I would make it into like little balls, the size of a golf ball or so. They're making pupusas. They only use the maseca. I didn't see that they added flour, but it's the same concept. So they make it like that, stretch it out, add their filling in the middle. Let's pretend this is the filling. And then they just kind of, I think I saw this, and I'm sure it takes practice, but they did that, and then they fold it up again, and then did that. Make it into a pupusa. If I'm making what's called sopes, which is a different, and tortilla a little thick like that, but I use the
Tortilla
I forget what that's called. I cook it, and then once it's cooked at the edges, I go like this. I'm sure you guys seen it. Once it's cooked, and then you can add your filling. You can add sour cream, cheese, beans, and then your lettuce, salsa, and all of that. So that's how you would make the sopa, but obviously you have to cook it, and it comes out. Once it comes out and it's hot, then you can pinch the edges, but use like a napkin or something, because when it's hot it's when you want to like create those edges. But for the tortillas, we're just gonna make little balls. Golf boy, my 11-year-old, she loves like homemade tortillas, and then we end up making quesadillas out of them, and so she just loves that. So I actually have to go pick up my daughter at school. I'm gonna leave this with a moist paper towel. It's just a moist paper towel, just so it doesn't lose the moisture. Otherwise, your dough will get dried out if you leave it for a while. And I'm gonna be gone for about 20 minutes, so I should have done this when I came back, but I wanted to get a head start. Okay, I have my tortilla press, and you want to cut out like 2 sheets of plastic essentially, and you want that bag that's like where you put veggies, or when you go in the grocery stores they have like so you can put veggies. I don't know, it's just that bag that's like not too thick, not too thin, because if you do it with a Ziploc bag, it's not flexible enough that when you're like taking it off, it doesn't work well. And see how the edges of the tortilla are pretty much like not really broken. If you didn't add enough water, these will kind of be more cracked in there. And then you'd grab it you put your hand about there, and you start peeling slowly. And then you want this part to touch the pan and then slowly let it go. So hopefully I can show it nicely. Let's see. Then you just put it in there and you let it go. I don't know if that. The color's gonna start changing. So it goes from like this white to like a little bit of a yellowy color. Okay, so now it's kind of changing. Right here I can see that it's like changing to that other color. And right here is still not changing, but I think it's actually ready to flip. So I'm gonna attempt to flip it. And I'm scared, so I'm not I'm not too brave. But you can always use a spatula. I usually end up using a spatula, or like if they start to get too hot. But washing your hands or keeping something to keep your fingers cool, that could also help. Especially if it's like your first time. You can dip your fingers in like cold ice water and then do this. You're gonna flip it one more time. But to flip it one more time, the back here, it has to be cooked. Like it has to have like some like dots. I'll show you. Okay, I waited about, I don't know. I think it's ready though. It didn't get that thing that I was talking about, but normally it'll have like brown dots from like being cooked, but I thought it was ready. When it has brown, I feel like when it has more brown dots, it'll fluff up more. So like where it's not fluffing, I'm just putting pressure and it should start to like fluff up. Because it gets more of the heat that it needs. And on the other side is a little bit brown. This is the brown that I was looking on the other side. So this should have been how it looked, but this is ready to take out. And then you can just add mozzarella cheese, fold it, and then put it back in there and then make a quesadilla. It's so good. Okay, this is number 2. Okay, now I changed like to that color that I was talking about. I think that backside should be ready. This is kind of what I'm looking for. Like those little dots. But I feel like I don't have the heat right just yet. Because I feel like for the heat, it takes a little bit to figure it out. I am eating the tortilla with some cheese. I don't eat a lot of the cheese, but I'm lactose intolerant. My family's not, so there you go. So the back side should have like a couple more of these, and then when it does, it should fluff up a little more. And you can always check it just to make sure that it's not, like this is perfect. Like you want to have like those, I don't even know what they would be called, like the burn lines, the tan lines, I don't know. And then I'm going to put it in a plate and take it out. And you have to be really careful because if this pops, all the hot air that's trapped inside will kind of steam on you. So make sure you grab it from a corner that doesn't have any openings or anything. Yummy, Ellie?
Yeah.